Good evening and welcome to this session at St. Peter's Church, Bandra, Mumbai. This is our first session in which we try to reflect on how we become good news for the world. Be the good news. Today, Father Dudley Mendonca will speak on relationships and how to deal with conflict. That's the first theme we have for our parish this year, and that is how to live our relationships, make them more enriched. Father Dudley has been trained as a counselor in the US. He has many years of counseling experience, and also he has been a trainer for counselors. So we have rich experience here through Father Dudley. Hand over to Father for the sharing session. Thank you.
Welcome to all. In the notices for last Sunday, for the 15th of August, we had put down a mission statement that we are going to work on during this month. And the mission statement is about relationships in family, in neighborhood, in workplace, and let me add also friends, own friends, etc. All of those also would be included in the relationships. Also, in conflict, to have dialogue. When there's a conflict, not to become cold and indifferent, but to have a dialogue. That's what will help relationships. And to practice forgiveness and generosity. Build friendships with all. And that friendliness is important as a start. So today I'm going to present to you all, to take about a half hour, on relationships. But trying to give you all a deeper understanding how to deal with relationships also. First of all, what is a relationship? Consider that for yourself. What do you think is a relationship? A lot of you are married people. Some of you are single. And even being single, you have friends, you have relatives in the family, out of the family, in the neighborhood, etc. What is a relationship? Very simply put, it is the quality of trust. A quality of trust between two persons with each other when they share. Two persons, a lot of sharing goes on. But what is the quality of trust in the sharing? Are they just on gossip about somebody else? Or are these two persons talking about themselves in marriage? Is there a conversation about each other, talking about each other, sharing about each other, disclosing about oneself, which we are going to talk about? Is that happening? Or is it just shallow talk? What is trust? That's the big question for us for this evening. Really live as long as trust is there. When someone betrays trust, the relationship just crashes, it collapses. Trust is the assured reliance on another person's integrity. This is what Erikson, the human development psychologist, excellent psychologist, giving us the stages of human development. I find him better than Freud also. He's more in detail, and Freud ends up by the age of 22. But Erikson gives us for the whole life. So he says this, in the early years, we need to have trust. The child has trust with the parents. It is the assured reliance on another person's integrity. Integrity means honesty, sincerity. I can believe this person. I know I can simply be my full self, my normal self with this person. That's what assured reliance on another person's integrity means. being able to be honest and sincere. This person will not backbite against me. This person will not betray me. This person will not cheat me. That is what trust is made up of. 100% confidence in the person can be trusted. It is seen in a friendship, in a marriage, in their exchange and comfort levels. The way they exchange with each other, the way they share with each other, and the comfort with which they share. When we begin a friendship, there is discomfort. We are learning how to share, what to share, what to share. Should I say this? Should I not say this? How will he or what will she think? All that goes on in our minds. Gradually over time we begin to trust each other, and it does not matter. We begin to talk whatever we wish to talk. I had a friend of 45 years, a Jesuit. He died last year in May. For 45 years we were friends. We began searching, we began with our mischief, etc. That was where we began. But gradually we built up together in our sharing. He shared very deeply with me. I shared very deeply with him. We knew practically everything about each other. That was who we were. And he also became a good friend in the family, in my family. And my mother, one day she said, "How is my third son?" I said, "Your third son? Who is your third son?" She says, "Jerry, Father Jerry." Oh, okay. He was so reliable. Even when I was out of Mumbai, he was able to, all I had to do from Delhi or from US, phone him and say, "Jerry, see, this is happening at home. Can you go and just help out, help Mommy, Lorraine in these things, in their tasks and all that?" And he took care of it. I had 100% trust and confidence in him. So that's two male friends. But what about spouse and you, or people with relationships you have, etc.? What blocks our integrity? What blocks, what prevents people from being honest, from being sincere? Think about that. What prevents you from being honest, from being sincere? Even with the person whom you trust, sometimes you don't want to say everything. You suddenly want to withdraw, hold back. What causes that? What causes you to withdraw in your relationship? Consider that. There are unhelpful affects. I'm using the word affect, for now I'm referring to it as feeling. But I'll clarify further for you this word and make it very clear for you. But for now, there are unhelpful affects, and that puts a block between us and others. Feelings of hurt, feelings of fear, feelings of anger. Sometimes it's hatred. Suddenly hatred erupts. Jealousy comes in. And when these feelings come in, they can block trust. Sometimes that trust gets blocked and damaged for the rest of their lives. Sometimes they even want to go and get separated in marriages because of feelings that are accumulated within them, and they don't know what is inside there, but just something about the event that happened, and that's what they want to deal with. So our unhelpful affects are what blocks the trust we have with others. Where do these affects begin? Positive and negative. Consider a newborn baby. A newborn baby. How's the baby when we see the baby about 2 weeks later or something? The baby is there. When the baby is awake, the baby's eyes are there on you, moving. So freely moving, the eyes, the body also, just looking around, etc., etc., etc. And that goes on through early childhood also. For most children, the early childhood also is this simple wonder. You say something and the baby gets hooked entirely immediately. Someone else says something, immediately the baby will look. And this is what happens. I take a little naughty pleasure. Once I did it on the road when I was in St. Xavier's School. I was going out and I saw a couple with a baby. The father was carrying the baby. So I went unconsciously. I just went. I was so excited to play with the baby. So I went and I said, 1 minute. क्या हो गया? नहीं, baby से थोड़ा मस्ती करना है. Oh, the mother looking at me, the father looking at me, stunned. I said, and I pulled baby's cheeks and I whistled. And I pulled baby's ear, tight, touch baby ear. And baby looking at me. That's what I enjoyed with the baby. That spontaneity with which the baby just looks around and hears voices, hears sounds, and simply then I said, Bahut mehrbani. I did it 3 or 4 times and I moved off. This is what a baby is. When a baby is born and few months later too, baby is just with feelings. Feelings and more feelings only. That's what baby has going on in her or him. Just feelings, one after another with baby. Rushing one after another. Something is said, baby will look around. Somebody calls baby, baby will look around somewhere else. And that's the way baby goes on. And gradually over time, these feelings slowly begin to turn into emotions and to turn into moods. Baby begins to start having strong feelings. The feelings become stronger and they may even turn into moods. By the age of about 2 or 3 years old, baby is not left with feelings only. Emotions too have begun to come in, and maybe a mood or 2 moods happen to have come in also. And that's what happens to baby. And that's what's happened to all of us. Once upon a time we were just feeling free people. But gradually, through mother and father did not love us. They loved us to the best of capacity. But then they had their little limitations and strengths, and those became for and against, and those caused emotions in us. All of us, all human beings, no human being is perfect. Mother and father got that handed down to them by their parents, and their grandparents handed it over to their parents, and that is being handed down. Murray Bowen calls it a multi-generational handing down of sin, emotions, moods. A multi-generational, generation after generation, these feelings are being handed down. If you look at your own life, you think about whom do you imitate more in the way you feel? Mother or father or a primary caregiver? Whom do you imitate more about your feelings? Check that out for yourself. And that's important for us to understand who we are at that deeper level. So all of us, once upon a time, were innocent babies with only feelings. Gradually over time, they turned into emotions, and 1 or 2 of them turned into moods. In my case, with the experiences I had when I was being brought up, over time, when I was in age about 10, 11, 12, around that time, I started developing a strong fear in me, strong fear towards my mother. She was using, because I was so free and arrogant, etc., and stubborn and mischievous, she started using the cane to beat me, which is okay. But then over time that became a fear in me. Gradually I had 2 emotions, fear and the opposite was excitement. I lived out of these 2 emotions, fear and excitement, which had turned into moods. And most of my life I lived with that. Even after joining the Jesuits, till the age of 42, I lived out of those 2 feelings, those 2 moods mainly. The word affect refers to feelings. That's the general word. But I have taken the word affect to be used in a more generic way. I use it as a feeling, as an emotion, or as a mood. So a feeling, emotion and mood, all 3 are affects, but each one of them in their own quality. Where are our affects? Where are they? I remember when I began studying, the professor told us all our feelings are in the heart region. And I believed him, and I went on believing, till I started doing counseling and I started getting people to get in touch with their feelings, and I began to discover people telling me how they can feel something in the stomach and how they feel it in the shoulders. So where do you feel your feelings in your body? Our feelings, our emotions, our moods, the feelings are mild and light in the heart, but the emotions and moods get lodged in different parts of the body. One day, one of my counselees, I asked the person, I said, where is this feeling you have? Is it in the chest? Is it in the lungs? Is it in the heart? Is it deep down in the intestines? Person took a little while and said, no. I said, what happened? I said, you're feeling uncomfortable. No, you asked me where is my feeling. I hide my feelings, my emotions in the back of my thigh. So this person was hiding it there, and therefore I realized that from such time onward, our emotions are all over our bodies. Some of us carry it in the lower back, and very often these feelings turn into psychosomatic disorders and diseases too. These feelings, if we don't deal with them, they begin to become psychosomatic in our bodies. So these are affects, feelings, emotions, mood. What causes the affects? The way we interpret an event. How do I interpret an event? The event is the fact, and the interpretation causes the affect. Let me give you all these feeling, emotion and mood, little more clarity about what feelings are. Feelings are helpful, light, very light, and fleeting. Feelings, like I told you all about the baby simply feels one feeling here with this and another feeling with that other bass voice, another feeling comes in. So baby feelings are light, fleeting, helpful, physiological reactions to stimuli, whether it's from outside or from inside. Feelings carry important information regarding a person's reactions to life experiences. Our feelings speak about who we are, and feelings are to be treated as vital signals of inner and outer experiences for making choices. Our choices are not made only because of our head. We think, I thought and I chose because of this. No, there are feelings associated with the thought, and those feelings invite us to move in a particular direction. Sometimes the feelings are not just feelings, they are emotions, they are moods. And therefore to dismiss this information is to cut off an essential face of oneself. Feelings are a face. Sometimes you look at a person, you see the face and you say, my gosh, how sad, what sadness on this person's face. Sometimes you just see the smile and you see the whole face glowing, and you can see that joy there. Our feelings are constantly exposing us to people. Body language, the way we move our bodies, the way we hold our face, the way we hold our head and neck, etc. All of that, our feelings are exposing us to other people. Feelings are the realm of spirituality. For spirituality, we must clear up our emotions and moods and deal with them only as feelings. And a person might say, I have feelings. I have feelings. Moving to emotions. What are emotions? Emotions are feelings which have become invasive, heavy and embedded. They were light, fleeting feelings, but gradually over time they become heavy and they invade a person. Like I said, they get stuck in different parts of the body. A lot of my emotions used to be in my intestines here. That's where I carried a lot of my emotions. All of us. I call it a basket. Not a bag, not a vessel, but a basket which is dripping all the time until we deal with it and heal it. So feelings are heavy and embedded in the body. They last longer and they are stronger in their intensity. So emotions don't quickly shift. Emotions take time with us. Think of a time when you had a strong feeling. It does not go. You are just weighed down by it. Till slowly you allow it to slip into your unconscious, and from there it goes and gets stuck in your emotion basket. They invade a person's capacity to reason helpfully. You cannot reason up helpfully when you are charged with emotion, anger, fear or happiness, excitement, delight, etc. You cannot be with emotions to make choices. They color choices and discernment also. Discernment for us, religious, discernment is finding what God wants of us. We need to be aware that emotions do not help in discernment. Moods are worsted in helping in discernment. A person might say, the emotions have me. I don't have charge over my emotions. If my emotions get me, they really get me. Then come new moods. Feelings were emotions. Moods are neglected and ignored emotions. In my case, fear was ignored. I sought for excitement, and because of that I used to lose myself and get caught up in my fears. Moods are neglected and ignored emotions. They are emotions whose intensities have dulled. The intensity has dulled. So it's not there, but it's gone inside. And whenever we think of so-and-so person, that emotion comes up. And we don't like to think of that person because that person stirs up these type of emotions. They are pervasive in their occupancy, take over aspects or all of the personality. They cripple a person's fact-affect differentiation. A person might say, I am the mood. Now going back to the fact-affect point. So you got that clarity. Feelings, emotions and moods, this is what they are. What is a fact-affect? Fact is just the total experience is a fact-affect relationship, combination. And this is what we need to learn to become familiar with. Facts are what we perceive through our senses, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. Facts are also a thought or a realization. All these are facts. What are the affects? They are feelings, emotions and moods. Facts and affects are related together. There is no fact without an affect. There is no affect without a fact. And this is what we need to remind ourselves about. Become more sensitive to my affect world. Start becoming aware of your affect world. If you go onto the net, I'm suggesting one thing. Become aware of your affects. Don't go on the net and you'll find lists of affects available for you. You can use them to grow. The best would be, it would take a little time, not go on the net, but start helping yourself to locate your feelings. Where are my emotions in my body? Where do I get troubled when something happens to me? Some people may suddenly start getting motions. That is what the affect is about, the emotion is about. Some people simply go into a quiet withdrawal. What is the affect eating this person? So start understanding yourself. Each one of us has our primary negative affects and our main mood. We have our main mood with us, one positive, one negative. At the most, somebody may have 2 positives and 2 negative moods, but both of them are in a dance. Like fear and excitement were in a dance for me. That was my life till the age of 42, from the age of about 10. Yeah? So for us to understand ourselves according to our fact affect. And coming back to relationships now. For a relationship to flourish, it will help to disclose to the other who you are. But what happens very often in relationships, only the facts are disclosed. We need to start disclosing even the affects. When we disclose the affects, what are we bringing into our relationships? We are bringing in trust. We are showing integrity. I trust you, and therefore I am going to be honest with what I tell you. And I trust that over time, you too will start becoming honest and disclosing your own affect world. Disclose the affect and fact. Who am I today? You know, today I am like this. This is the person who I am. This is the present fact affects. But then, don't get stuck only in the present. Go back to who you are and why you are who you are. What about your life has made you who you are today? All of us, we have a psycho-spiritual history behind us. We are not aware of it. We get caught up with just the externals. We need to understand our psycho-spiritual history and get into that and understand that. Like I just told you, this is what happened to me at this age, at the age of 8, 9, 10. And then I started, and then that's what my life was about. What did it do to me when I started feeling this fear? I failed. But I failed only 4 times. I failed the 8th standard, I failed the 9th standard, I failed the 10th standard, and I failed SSC. I'm saying only 4 times because I had a friend of mine who had failed 6 times. Another fellow had failed 5 times. So I was better than them. Anyway, so what happened to me? I was coming 13th, 15th in the earlier classes. But once I reached the 7th standard, 6th standard, I started dropping, and in the 8th standard I failed. 9th standard I failed again, 2 years in each of these classes. What happened to me? But how is that somebody who has failed so many times has had the ability to do 2 master's degrees, 1 PhD? Not normal. What happened to me? Prayer? Yes, certainly prayer, my high devotion to Mother Mary. That was definitely what helped me. But besides that, while I was doing my studies and training, I kept on going for my counseling sessions. Though we were expected in 2 years to do only about 10 sessions, I went on and on for 2 full years for counseling session. Even when I was doing my later studies, the PhD study, I stayed on in counseling and therapy for 4 years. And that has brought about a new personality for me. Those who knew me earlier and who know me now will see a difference. I don't do anything to become different. This is what has happened to me. So start talking about why you are who you are. When you want to build a relationship, spouses, please build a relationship by talking about not only who you are, but why you are who you are. And bring in the affect world into it. It is gradual, but it is a rewarding journey. For couples over years, or friendships, begin to include even your affects in conversation. Try as much as possible to bring in your affect language. Include it in every way of conversation you have with people. The more 2 persons disclose in their sharings with each other, so much will the depth and expansiveness of the relationship be. We want a rich relationship with each other. Start going deeper, revealing your blocked emotions, your blocked moods. Disclose all that. Help one another to talk. Let one trust the other. And that to build a relationship with everybody, it's not possible. But there will be few people whom you can build relationships with. Build them up with such people. You can do it only with people whom you feel drawn to and comfortable or secure with. We feel drawn to, comfortable and secure with certain people. A psychological reason why we feel drawn to certain type of people. One is the looks, but more than that is also the type of psyche this person has, and it matches with my psyche. After about 2 or 3 meetings in a group and all that, one feels drawn to this person, not to that person. Slowly one's psyche has made that connection for oneself. So this is what we do for relationships. All we have to do for relationships is start talking the language of affects. I say language or affects, they are the language of love. You want to build love in a friendship, love in your spousal relationship, talk about your affects. And love simply blossoms out of that. Affects are the language of love. I told you about my friend Jerry. We spoke deeply. He too was a counselor. So we spoke a lot of our feeling world, our affect world, and that helped us build our relation. So for couples, have a fact affect sharing before bed. That would be my suggestion. Every night before you go to bed, before you say your night prayers, have a sharing with each other. Don't go into details that it will take half an hour and 1 hour. Just talk about the fact. The fact is just a title, and you may want to add 1 or 2 little associated facts also, but stay with the fact. Make sure you bring out the affects. Get familiar with your whole affect world. Singles, what to do? Whom do you share with? Get your diary, and in your diary write down your fact and affect. Fact, 1 line, at the most go for 2 lines, no more. But then put down the related, the associated affects there. I may have with me about 6 or 7 diaries over the years which I have been filling up, and I see a big difference between who I was and what I am today through my diaries. So that's what I have to offer each one of you, all of you today through my input. I hope it helps you a little to build up your relationship. There is a lot more going on in all of us psycho-spiritually, which needs to be also dealt with and attended to for yourself, individually and personally. Okay, thank you very much. God bless us all.